Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. What do the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711, Jesus Christ, Napoleon, Abe Lincoln, and Babe Ruth all have in common? Mythology, folklore, and legend. It's difficult to have a rational, factual discussion about real historical figures when there is so much collective historical hype. Well, today, we are peeling back the mythology from the machine. This is the 5711, and this is the Collector's Take. The story of the Patek Philippe Nautilus, truth be told, goes back to 1970 and the debut of the Rolex 5100. According to folklore, that word again, this was actually a Gerald Genta design, and it helped to coin the look of the 70s. Integrated bracelet, lugs, and case, all of a piece, but it was nothing more than a table setter for Gerald Genta's first blockbuster of the era, the 1972 Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Fast forward 4 years, and he answered his own high watermark with a new opus, the Patek Philippe Nautilus 3700. And for many years, this was the look of the Nautilus, changing precious little despite different case sizes and complications until 2004 when it gained a unique center-seconds white gold model known as the 3711. This, along with the original 3700, was one of the two direct forebears of the 2006 30th anniversary Nautilus, the 5711. This is a watch that, with very few changes, has been a bestseller, though not always a mania, in the decade and a half it's existed. In fact, the biggest change, internal, took place in 2019 with the arrival of the new 26-330 movement. Otherwise, it has been remarkably consistent. And that consistency is the hallmark of this model. Through the years, the size, the profile, the panache, all of it's been remarkably orthodox. It's been almost as evergreen as a Rolex Submariner in that regard. From the outside working in, you see hand-finished steel, you see polish, you see satin, you see beautiful bevels, a bracelet, a case, and a bezel assembly that require somewhere between 20 and 30 hours to hand finish in their entirety. The individual links are incredibly supple, feeling more like silk across the wrist than chainmail and steel. The clasp, wonderfully thin, curved to match the underside of the wrist, a double deployant with a clamshell lock, integrating via a gradual taper and a bevel to a case that's broad down the wrist but not across the wrist. Though it has the look of a 42 with its winglets, it's a very compact 40mm, only 8.6mm thick and universally cuffable. The dial, featuring the distinctive lateral strakes and blue base, has been with the Nautilus since '76, but the gradient fade from bright silver blue at the center to dark at the edge was a feature of the 2006 evolution. Behind the watch, the movement, beautifully hand-finished. Yes, the caliber does include basic electrospark erosion and CNC to fabricate the essential parts, but all of the finishing is manual, and this distinguishes it from the many integrated bracelet sports watches on the market today. The standout feature of this watch is and has always been its versatility. From day one, it was both a sports watch and a dress watch. Quick. How many 120-meter water-resistant, ultra-thin references can you think of? Sub 9mm. Would you fill up even 5 fingers in one hand, or would it be more like 2 or 3 fingers? The watch is exceptional in that regard alone. It's a timepiece that's, again, broad across the wrist in the sense that it's wide, but it's not exceptionally broadly stanced, so it'll fit on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, meaning in spite of Patek's issuance of mid-size and ladies models, the basic 5711 is absolutely a unisex option. And again, the hallmark is the comfort. This is a timepiece that feels like a second skin on the wrist. Well, the boxed set of the current 5711 doesn't quite match the high watermark of 1976 and the cork original. It's a Patek Philippe, which means the boxed set is impressive. We have a large outer cardboard box and an inner box, which is handcrafted of thickly lacquered mahogany. The certificate of origin is on its reverse side, also the warranty card. This cannot be regenerated by Patek Philippe, and it is the one piece of the boxed set you would save from your burning house. There's a leather sleeve, the better to hold all of the paperwork, and you can see one includes a movement manual, which is substantial, but ironically does not include the movement reference 26330 included in this version of the Nautilus. There's also a museum promo, which has to be the world's most upscale tourist trap if you ever travel to your watch's birthplace in Geneva. There's a collector's library catalog, which again is high-level home shopping, as there are prices and names of books published by Patek to decorate your undoubtedly huge mansion. There's a hang tag, and because this is a Patek Philippe, it is a factory-sealed hang tag. And there's a large polishing cloth, the better to polish your prize. And of course, a multilingual registration booklet, naturally sold in an English language market. The English card has already been withdrawn from this example. Who should consider this watch? Well, first and foremost, Dr. Emmett Brown, Rick and Morty, and Doctor Who. Basically anyone with a time machine, because back in 2015, my old company used to buy these watches in the teens and sell them in the low 20s. Times have changed. Are you a Middle Eastern king? Well, if you are, you're in luck, because everyone's going to know you're the top dog in the 7 Emirates when you flaunt this thing on your wrist while window shopping Aston Martins at the Dubai Mall. Are you a priced no object type? Whether you're looking for just one watch that could be your entire collection in a single reference, or you're looking to start a collection of important Patek Philippe watches, or you're a monuments man who wants to own the one significant reference from each manufacturer, the Nautilus, provided you've got the budget, is for you. Alternatives to consider. First and foremost, one of the watches of our moment, the Bulgari Octo Finissimo Automatic. Always slim, slender, and graceful, it now comes in a 100-meter water-resistant steel version, which at 10% of the cost of a used 5711 is just about, well, irresistible. H. Moser & C. The company out of Schaffhausen has done wonderful things with its Streamliner Center Second, proving that you can channel the spirit and the tropes of the 70s without plagiarizing Gerald Genta. The watch is wonderful to wear in 40mm, giving you the sense of fun and quality on the wrist that you get from the Patek, with comparable automatic winding, durability, water resistance, and lume. For that matter, anyone who has $100,000 should consider any $100,000 watch as a Nautilus alternative. At that price, you can get minute repeaters, tourbillon, perpetual calendars, even grand complication. When you have that much money, 6 figures to spend on a watch, well, the world is your oyster, not just necessarily your Nautilus. 10 years, 1 decade. That's the online rumor regarding the length of the 5711 wait list. This is a watch that's being discontinued this year, and the very fact that people believe that, it's as absurd as the tall tales of the American frontier before it. The Patek Philippe 5711 is going away, but the phenomenon behind it, a relentless pace of auctions, online sales, and social media glow, is forever. The 5711 may be dead, but the phenomenon will live on, and that is the collector's take.